Hello. So today on the Career Conversation show, I have Vishal Bhatia. So he is a friend, more a professional colleague. IIM Ahmedabad, we share the same Pgpx background, and he is now with Vedanta. So he's kindly consented to come and share his experiences as to why he went for CA, and then subsequently 10 years after CA, he went for IIM Ahmedabad Pgpx. How did this help him? So welcome to the show, Vishal.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you very much for calling me on the show.
Yeah, and if you could briefly just run us through what else happened in your life before you became a CA in 2006. So Nopani, Xavier's, why CA? Just quickly.
So, Anurag, I'm a typically Marwadi guy from Kolkata who aspires to become a CA after completion their commerce education. So, I did my schooling from Nupani, then my colleging from St. Xavier's, and then I did my CA and completed it in 2006. And then from campus, I was recruited by Vedanta as a management trainee, and I joined the company in 2006 there.
And so, like over the next one decade, you had a fabulous stint at Vedanta. Tell us about the roles that you were working. Then you moved to Trafigura. So, for the uninitiated, like the Trafigura is one of the largest energy trading companies in the world. So what were you doing there at Trafigura? You're doing reasonably well. So then what triggered your need? Like, was it Maslow's hierarchy that you took the GMAT and you applied to Ncr and IIM Ahmedabad? Tell us more about that.
So, Anurag, I started the career in 2007 with Vedanta, and Vedanta gave me an opportunity to experience different domains of finance function in 7.5 years, which I was there with Vedanta. So I started with project financing, then I moved to the controllership role, then I moved to their internal accounting division, where I was handling a couple of their businesses inside India, outside India, in Africa. So that was a good 7.5 years of experience looking at the diverse profiles and domains within the finance function. From there on, I moved to Trafigura, which is one of the leading metal and oil trading business in the world. There I was handling their entire accounting for their non-ferrous division from Mumbai. Uh, and I spent around 3 years there in Trafigura. And around all this 10 years, and my career was all revolving around the different aspects of finance function. But what I felt the need is that if you want to reach to the position where you are from, where you are driving the business, you need to have an understanding of the overall business and not only one aspect, which is finance. I think that was the trigger point which felt me to pursue a course which gives me an experience in different aspects of the business, like operations, strategy, marketing, sales. Because I truly believe that if you're driving the business, you need to contribute from your product production to the ultimate sales. And I think that was the trigger point why I thought that, okay, now it's time to do an MBA. And I think MBA would give me that kind of experience and opportunity. So I choose two institutes where I wanted to do my MBA. One was NCR Singapore, and second was IIM Ahmedabad. And for that, then I applied for GMAT, sat for the GMAT exam, and then subsequently I got admission in IIM Ahmedabad in 2017.
Like, about your GMAT score and what all went into the application process. For a lot of people, there is a lot of hype and hoopla surrounding that. Oh, I need like a 750 in GMAT if I were to be selected at marquee institutes. So you got a admission application at INSEAD also. So how was that different from IIM Ahmedabad? How was the IIM Ahmedabad's interview process, like that extempore and all the essays, how much that matters? Just tell us about that.
So, Anurag, I would just like to share my experience on the GMAT front. See, GMAT is just a hygiene factor. It's an entry gate where you need to score decently to get it the admission into a good B school, right? My GMAT score was 700. So I was not in that elite GMAT score level of 750 and all. But what importantly I had was a very strong experience of 10 years and working in a lot of multinational companies. where I had a good amount of exposure in different areas of business. So I think that was a very, very important factor for my admission into IIM Ahmedabad. In terms of admission process, difference between IIM Ahmedabad and NCR is that NCR admission process was more around the essays, more around the application that you have made. They had a lot of emphasis on what you write, how you write it, and there was a short video interview also for NCR before the actual interview happens. In Ahmedabad, I think an equal importance was given to your background, your career background, as well as the interview. So I think that's the key difference between NCR and IIM Ahmedabad. That Ahmedabad gives a lot of importance to the physical interview that you have with the institute. And
And
my experience of interview at IIM Ahmedabad was, matlab, I was after the interview when I came out, I was clear in my mind that I am either 100% selected or I am either 100% rejected, because I was the last person on that day for the interview. I waited the full day from morning to evening to get my chance for the interview. Almost all the interviews were between 35 to 40 minutes. My interview was 17 minutes sharp. So I thought either in 17 minutes they have judged me that this is a right candidate, or they have judged me that this is not a right candidate. So let's not waste more time. So my experience was a bit different in Ahmedabad for the interview.
okay. So now, when you went to campus, you landed in campus in April 2017, and then the 1 year that did the campus experience actually justify the kind of expectations that you had from Pgpx program? And if I were to pinpoint like 3 specific takeaways from the Pgpx program, what would that be?
So yes, I would say uh, I would say 80-90% of my expectation was justified in terms of what I thought that what I will be getting in Ahmedabad. So institute really gave me experience of touching base upon a lot of topics, a lot of areas which is important for the business, but doesn't get covered in typical CA curriculum, right? If you see a CA curriculum, it's more about accounting, law, taxation, and economics and all those stuff. But in MBA, they give you experience about operations, they give you about experience about strategy, they give you experience about your organizational behaviors, leadership skills. So I think that was the part which was very satisfying at Ahmedabad. Second important aspect, which was very good at AM, was the cohort. Average experience of the batch was around 9.5 years. And then people were there from all the different industries. People from IT, people from engineering, people from a couple of doctors were there, people from defense. So a lot of people from different backgrounds were there. And then the experience that they have brought and the experience that they have shared with each one of us, I think that was truly amazing, because you learn a lot of things from those experiences. So I think on these two accounts, Ahmedabad was very satisfying. What could be more satisfying and an improvement opportunity for IIM is that they are touching base upon a lot of topics, but they are not getting deep inside a few of them. That could be because of the structure, the way the program is structured, because the duration is only just 1 year. But probably there are a lot of improvement opportunities there, which we have suggested to the institute, that how they can improve and enhance their program curriculum. In terms of three key takeaways, Anurag, I would say the first thing is that self-confidence that this program generates in you, right? See, we all have self-confidence in us. 10 years of experience, it's not possible that I'm not confident. But still, that extra bit of confidence that gives this programs gives to you, because the rigor which you face during that 1 year in the program, that prepares you to handle any kind of situation, any kind of ad hoc event, any kind of issues which are there in the business. The program prepare you well for that. And I think that is a very, very important aspect as a leader of an organization, that you are truly confident on how you will deliver on the business requirement. I'll just give you an example. People admire MS Dhoni. There are two skills which separates MS Dhoni from anybody else. Number one, he's very cool. So he keeps his cool in the tough situation. Second ability is that he trusts his skills. He trusts his abilities to deliver in that crunch moment, right? And that is a very important aspect why he was so successful in finishing the games. I think this is exactly the skill which IIM Ahmedabad provides you, that it builds trust in yourself, that you trust your skills, that okay, I will be able to deliver in this particular situation, right? I think that's a first very important key takeaway. Second important key takeaway, Anurag, is that cliche of aptitude versus attitude, right? But I think it's very important that how you shape up your attitude. See, there was a famous quote that life is 10% what happens to me, and it's about 90% how I react to that situation, right? And this program subconsciously builds up that aptitude in yourself to react to those situations, right? You'll not figure this out during the 1 year program. You'll not find that difference in you. But once you come out of that program, and once you start applying the things that you have learned, and it is very important that you start applying. Many people do not apply the learnings out of the program, and once you start applying that, you'll find that you have changed completely as a person. Your thinking perspective, your horizon, all that all that changes. And I think that is very important key differentiator at that leadership position. So that's second. And third is a lot of do's and don'ts. The program teaches you what you should do and shouldn't do as a leader. And I think that's also very important, because once you reach to the top position, you lead a lot of team, and a lot of team members with diverse background, diverse experiences comes and works with you. So you should exactly know how to
So give an example for
apply
that.
some of the skills.
So give an example.
So for example, the way you negotiate, let's say in your commercial contracts, right?
Yes.
Or let's say the way you deal conflict situation in your team, right? I had an experience a couple of weeks back where there was some kind of, I'll not say conflict, but not a very cordial environment between some of the members of a particular team. And then I used an experience of IIM Ahmedabad that, okay, how we can come out of this situation, how we can make the people understand about each other's perception, about each other's the way they think for each other, and how to really resolve the thin line issues which are there between the people. And then some of the skills really came in handy. Sat with the team, make them understand that what is the situation, how they need to react to a particular situation, and that was really helpful. So I think that do's and don'ts really help in leading the team.
Fair point. I mean, that organizational behavior module in term one, it is quite a life-changing one for a lot of people, because you really have not understood that soft skills aspect of leadership unless that course is taught.
And not only term one, Anurag, if you see in term 3 and 4
BRN,
also,
business relationship.
we have, yes, correct. And we have optionals to take up leadership skills. In fact, one of the subject which I really liked was a subject of Bhagavad Gita. So there was a full-fledged 15 sessions course on Bhagavad Gita.
Who is
And
it?
the session was all about how you can take out the learning of Bhagavad Gita and then apply it as a organizational behavior in your particular organization. And I think that was also a very important learning, because there are so many things in Bhagavad Gita which you can learn, but practically we do not do that. But I think that was a very good experience reading Bhagavad Gita, not the entire book, but yes, the important verses of Bhagavad Gita, and then application of that Bhagavad Gita in your day-to-day life.
Oh, we didn't have this elective. We had a good course called Inspired Leadership Through Personal Mastery. So again, it was like spirituality and how you could leverage the same in leadership. And before going to campus, I had always thought that campus is all about creating that greed in you to become like that investment banker or that consultant. But I never thought that a campus is going to deal with spirituality also as a topic like they've taught in terms of Bhagavad Gita. Now, what are you doing after Pgpx? If you could tell the audience on that.
So Anurag, I didn't took a placement from the campus. I joined my previous organization, Vedanta, straight from the campus. I joined as head of finance for their aluminium business in Jharsuguda, Odisha. And now for last 9 months, I am promoted as a CFO there. And I am handling the entire aluminium business in Jharsuguda for Vedanta.
How big is that business?
So in terms of size, this is the largest aluminium plant in India. Our capacity is 1.6 million tons at this point of time. We are planning to expand it to 1.8 million ton. This is the largest smelter outside China, I would say. And the turnover would be around 2.5 to 3 billion US dollars. And my team size would be around 65 people at this point of time.
Oh my God, that's quite a big leadership role. So because the stated objective of the program is to multiply your experience with education and prepare you for leadership experiences. Now, so that you are handling this humongous team. So you talked about some conflict management that happened a couple of weeks ago. Now, does studying things like organizational behavior, supply chain, statistics, so for example, hypothesis testing and ANOVA testing and stuff, marketing, are you actually able to apply that in Vedanta in your day-to-day life? Are people perceiving that additional incremental value in you because of that?
Yes, Anurag. I think some of the courses, yes, we are applying. So, for example, some of the marketing skills that we have learned about your product strategy, how you are placing the product in a market where a lot of other products are there. So, for example, aluminium is a very fairly product which is not distinguished in.
Commodity business. Yeah.
It's a commodity business. It's not a distinguished or a unique product in that sense. So how to place your commodity? Even in the commodity business, there are some small nuances, small aspects which can really distinguish your commodity from the another any other commodity, right? And some of the that softer aspects of the program really helped in strategizing that how you should place your product in the market. Some of the aspects on the operational front, I clearly remember a subject by Professor Saral Mukherjee on operation strategy, that your how your operation should be. It's an elephant or a cheetah. So the name of the program was Elephant and Cheetahs. So the learning from those are really helpful, and then we are using that in our day-to-day operations, day-to-day improving the plant operational parameters and all. Some of the topics like statistics, you mentioned statistics and all. Practically, yes, we are not applying that much personally, but yes, my one of a lot of my team members do apply some of those concepts of statistics in sampling and all. And then it's important that you understand those concepts. You may not be applying it yourself, but at least you have that understanding. And if somebody comes up with that particular analysis, you are able to grasp that, you are able to understand that. So those things are really helpful, and I'm applying those. What I'm additionally doing is that all the OB related piece of the learnings that we have got, the behavioral piece, I am now revisiting all those case studies. I've really taken out those case studies books with me, and then whenever I felt the need, I go through the case studies back again. I read those books given by the institute, and I personally take training classes for some of my subordinates in the organization, and that made me mandatory to go back to the book, read the concepts, and because until unless you go back and read the concepts, you cannot come and back and teach the people. So I deliberately do that training session so that it forces me to go back and read those books and concepts and the training materials. So that is one thing which I am doing to keep myself updated.
And MBA is also a lot about signaling effect also, right? So there would be a lot of qualitative factors that justify the investment of this 30 lakh rupees in the course fee, forgoing your 1 year of salary, which after 10 years would be in fact much more than the course fees. So considering that entire things that you gain from the campus, so is it really worth, if you were to recommend someone, that how is the ROI on this Pgpx program or a 1 year MBA for that matter, whether you do it from ABC, Lucknow, Indore or ISB, that forego the 1 year of salary, incur this high upfront fees, what do you gain in terms of quantitative and qualitative factors so that you justify, because we are chartered accountants, everything for us is costing, cost benefit analysis.
Correct.
So
Correct.
NPV, IRR, so how does it stack? So that's like my final question in some way to you on this MBA piece.
So, Anurag, I would not calculate my immediate ROI from the program, and I'll not recommend all the aspiring people or the aspirants who wants to join this program to immediately see what's my ROI on the program, right? 30 lakhs of your investment plus your salary that you are foregoing for a year, and then what is my immediate jump in the salary from my last drawn salary. So people think that, okay, my salary is X, so after IIM Ahmedabad or a program like this, my salary should be 1.5x, 2x, 3x. So I would not say, I would not recommend people to look at from that perspective. See, this programs gives you a platform, right? And then people needs to take this platform, use this platform to excel in their career. And it all depends on individual how they take up this platform, right? The return will be there eventually once you reach to the position where you want to go. The return will be there. In no organization people are at senior position with a lower salary, right? The organization will give you the salary if you are handling that kind of role and profile. So my recommendation would be use this platform to reach to that level. Once you are at that level, obviously the salary will come, right? For some the return could be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but there will be return out of it, right? But believe me, one thing which I have experienced personally, people the perception of the people around you after this program changes, right? They think that, okay, there is something in this particular person who has been selected by the most premier institute of India amongst all the participants who are applying in the program. So there is some differentiating factor. So there is a lot of trust and confidence which people get by this qualification that you gather. So I think that is a very important aspect people should leverage, that when the stakeholder gets the confidence in you, you come true to that expectation. So when you give them an opportunity, so for me, if you see my case, 9 months back, I was a head of finance and I was given a responsibility of leading the finance domain, and I was promoted to a CFO role just in a 1.5 years span of time. So people probably had that confidence that this person can do it, and then it is on me or anybody else to deliver on that confidence, right? So these programs give you a platform. I would recommend to use this platform rather than thinking immediately about the ROI and the returns.
Fair point, Vishal. So thank you so much for all the insights that you've captured. Any one final one-liner of advice to youngsters, chartered accountants, CA aspirants, MBA aspirants that you would want to give on this show?
I would just say, guys, take some risk in life. Huh? I have seen so many people, and so many people comes to me for advice that whether we should do this program, should not do this program. I will say, if out of 100 people who are thinking this program, only 10 people are there, or let's say 10% of the people are there who are taking that plunge, who are taking that risk of preparing for the program, applying for the program, and then getting that admission. So my recommendation would be, guys, if you really feel that there is some change that you need in your life, I would say take that risk. Don't worry about whether I will get a job after this program or what kind of job I will get after this program. Think on developing yourself. If you develop yourself in that particular manner in which you think that you should be, then you will get that kind of role. Take it from me, you will, some or other company will acknowledge your effort, acknowledge your development, and give you that role. So my suggestion would be, take that risk, take that plunge.
Absolutely, like fortune favors the brave. So in that way, like the ones who really take a break in their careers for investing in the self, probably life will also give you that maybe immediately. So as you correctly said, one of the biggest, as I talk to a lot of youngsters, mentoring them about this Pgpx program or the interview process, is that it is not about 1.5x or 2x or 3x that you get immediately after campus. It is about that long-term signaling effect, how people perceive you, your enhanced capability. So one has to as you rightly said, has to think a bit long term and take that risk into it. Thank you so much, Vishal, for coming on this show.
Thanks,
And I'm
Anurag.
sure that it has added tremendous value to the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.